Hello and welcome to our software tutorial series. This tutorial will walk you through configuring tax form defaults. In this tutorial, you will learn how to set up default forms to load on new returns, enter default ERO preparer information, enter practitioner's PIN information, and lock and unlock entries in the tax preparation software. As the administrator of the software, you can use tax form defaults to create a variety of preset configurations that will carry to existing users of the software, such as preparer information, ERO information, static form entries, price sheet entries, client letters, history lists, and return stages. It is important to configure tax form defaults prior to adding new usernames to the software. This allows configurations to be easily copied to new users when added. Edit tax form defaults allows you to preset general information as a default for future tax returns. This saves you from having to rekey repetitive information into each tax return. For example, IRS Form 8879 e-file signature authorization is an ideal form to configure through tax form defaults. This will pre-populate the EFIN, ERO information, and business address for each new tax return created. Custom history lists and return stages can also be configured through tax form defaults. For further information on history lists and return stages, please view the History Lists tutorial. Tax form defaults are specific to each tax package. The admin user is the only user that can perform the task of editing tax form defaults. When tax form defaults are created, they are automatically inherited by the other users of the software. Once again, it is recommended to edit tax form defaults prior to creating usernames. In tax packages that include a main information sheet, the software will open to the main information sheet by default. Once you have accessed tax form defaults, a yellow background will be visible to alert the user that defaults are currently being edited. Do not prepare an actual return when editing tax form defaults. When first opening tax form defaults, a predefined set of forms will be loaded, which includes main information sheet and Form 1040. Please note, the preset forms that are loaded during installation may vary depending on the particular installation media you receive. For example, locations participating in the IRS VITA program would have preset forms as defined in IRS Publication 3189. You should enter common information that you want to appear in all new returns. Unless an entry is locked, the preparer can change the defaulted information when they are preparing the return. To edit tax form defaults, you must be logged in as the admin user. Click the Tools menu, and then select Edit Tax Form Defaults. Select the package you want to use, and then click OK. The tax software will then display the confirm message box reminding you that changes affect only subsequent returns. Click Yes to continue. First, we will scroll down to the taxpayer information section. In this example, we are setting up tax form defaults for an office that rarely has taxpayers that exclude Puerto Rico income from their tax return. So we will select No to this question to save us the time of clicking No on that box every time we prepare a tax return. Next, we will scroll down to the Self-Select Practitioner PIN section of the main information sheet. Here we will enter the practitioner's PIN we will be using for the tax year. Then we will mark the checkbox below this to indicate we are using the practitioner PIN method when filing returns. And then click on the Income Tax Return checkbox to indicate the type of form we primarily file. In this example, we are also setting up our tax form defaults for an office that does a lot of returns with Schedule Cs during the year. To add a Schedule C to our tax form defaults, we will do the following. First, we will click on the Add Form Display Form List tab at the top of the form we are on. We could also use the Control and F10 shortcut to open the list. Next, we will type in the letter C to find Form Schedule C in this list, and then click on the Open button. From here, you will need to either make an entry required or make a selection on the form to keep it loaded. For this example, we will click on line C, and then press the F3 key on the keyboard to make this a required entry. Please note, if you do not make an entry required or make a selection on the form added in tax form defaults, it will not be added to new returns you create. The admin user can lock or unlock entry fields in tax form defaults by doing one of the following. Lock or unlock a single field in a return by right-clicking on the field. and selecting Lock Entry or Control L while the field is focused. Use entry locking on 1040 form entries to ensure the prepares link to forms and worksheets. For example, if we lock line 7 on the 1040, a preparer cannot type an amount directly in the field without linking to the appropriate income document. Locked entries also prohibit the preparers from overwriting the entries. The software also gives you the ability to lock and unlock all fields on a specific form. To lock all fields for a specific form, right-click on the form name in the form tree and click Lock All. The only form we recommend you use the Lock All feature on is the price sheet if you are running reports to calculate the value of the return. Please note, using the entry locking feature in tax form defaults will lock the field or fields for existing returns and any new returns. You should now be able to set up default forms to load, enter default ERO preparer information, enter practitioner's PIN information, and lock and unlock entries in the tax preparation software. Thank you for viewing this tutorial.